Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to talk about this before, but now the chance, but now we will. So basically, it's the fallout of bloodbath nonsense. So it seems to me that once again, mainstream media get caught in get this fake news, right? So the fake news are back. We haven't even reached the peak of election season, but let's take a look at this. So now the bloodbath fiasco that's basically going on in the mainstream media, that they got caught candid and no repercussions whatsoever because they are no longer news networks. They are opinion networks. They do not have news in their bones anymore, especially the editors. They are only concerns about the agenda. What is they trying to push onto you and me, and what is that they want you to think while they do their own important stuff. So basically, we can just take a look at this. The fallout is continuing over the media hoax claiming that Trump warned of a bloodbath if he doesn't win the election, when in reality, he was speaking of it in economic terms. You see, this is how they want you to think. Skip that. During his speech in Ohio this Saturday, the former president made comments regarding the car industry in Mexico and China. That's right, there's a big push, it seems like, by Chinese into the American markets. They're building some factories, it seems, in Mexico, and not hiring American workers because they want to sell cars in the United States. And if you can see, Trump says, if you're listening, President Xi, and you are my friends, but he understands that the way I deal. Okay, so I guess he's referring to you can put some tariffs on it. Those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, you're not going to hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us? No. We're going to put 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected, Trump said. Okay, cool. So basically, we're back on the trade war. Well, that's what we do our best. We either do wars or we do trade wars. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, meaning the car industry. That's going to be at least that's going to be the least of it. He added, because of getting these jobs and everything, and the industry is going to be effectively in a downward action. Forget about Ford. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it, but we're not going to sell those cars. They are building massive factories. Despite the context being clear, the media reported the story as if Trump was threatening to violent bloodbath in America. I wonder if he did this on purpose to really instigate the difference between what's being said and the media. So when we get the end wokeness, so reporting is all right. So narrative, you can see that Trump says bloodbath, 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 and then the context.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars.
Okay. As you can see, he was definitely not talking about no bloodbath in regards to losing elections, in regards to political consequences. Now, he's talking about the referral to economical point of view on the car. So again, it seems to me that these fake news once again getting away with misrepresenting public information, and it's apparently we should have some sort of penalty for misrepresenting a public knowledge, public facts, public information from the news networks. If the news networks want to be news networks and not opinion networks, then if they do break this, create fake news, mislead their readers, mislead their audience, then perhaps it's time for them to get penalized for it. Let's say 10% of their revenue, just so net revenue, so that they get the feel of maybe get time to get honest with the public they're supposed to help and inform, because apparently they're not informing the public. They're apparently just interested in pushing the narrative. And that's what they've been doing for the rest of the probably 40, 60 years since they've been ever in existence of all newspapers. I mean, we can go back to even the independence of the United States, basically how New York Times was actually rebellion. So let's just let that sink in. But anyhow, what George Washington allowed the newspaper to operate because it is necessary. But what we're seeing now, though, is it really necessary for fake news to exist? I mean, we have alternative medias now. We have live coverage. Everybody has a freaking phone now. Why do I need a professional reporter telling me what I already can hear with my own eyes and available 24/7 with anyone, and anybody can cross-check and double-check. And there's a bunch of AIs can check deepfakes and everything. So there's absolutely no point for them to exist unless they're providing actual value to the consumer, to the readers, to the watchers, whatever that may be. So I think it should definitely come up at some point somewhere that these news, the keyword news, if they're not news and they're just me like podcasting or streaming and giving opinions, then sure, and there's no reason. But if you're a news network and you're providing this kind of shit, then I think you should get fined for that. No, just a bunch of stuff. So anyways, that's all I really want to say. I think, what do you guys think? Do you think the news network should be penalized for representing public fact knowledge when it's obvious, or they should not be penalized? What is your opinion? Penalized or not penalized? I think they should, but what do you think? We can probably take a poll on that. Let's see, and yeah. So if you like this kind of content, please let me know, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.